Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to New Life Live. And I want to tell you something. This time next week, my co-host here, Chris Williams, Sheri Keffer, is also in the studio with us, and Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio. But a week from today, we're going to be doing Finding Freedom. And it is going to be one amazing experience. And so we want you to come to Finding Freedom. Larry, talk to us about the last time.
Yeah, Steve.
We
get thoughts from people as they leave the workshop, and this I really enjoyed this one. This is an encouragement for you folks to sign up. I leave here connected through common experiences of loss, family stuff, love or the lack of it, hope, redemption, struggle, and faith. Even though it was less than 48 hours, the stories and friends I shared group with made memories that will last a lifetime. Steve brings the right balance of truth, love, vulnerability, humor, all reinforced with Scripture. This weekend really highlighted the miracle and vastness of the living Word. There are parables and stories I've heard hundreds of times, but they got new meaning in the context of finding freedom.
And when you see something on TV that people are wanting you to have, they'll many times tell you how great it is, and then they'll say, and there's more. And the more is Chris Williams is now going to join us for the first time. And it's going to be, well, I'm really looking forward to it. It's not actually next week. It's March 15th, that Friday, that we're going to do it. So you still got time. But, boy, we would love for you guys to come.
And I'm just really excited. I find this so often that we find ourselves in patterns of, like, if I look different, if I had a different car or a better job, we're always looking to improve our world through the external, outside things. But what keeps us most often stuck in painful patterns or in frustrating patterns is our internal world. And finding freedom is about helping us identify the things in our internal world that keep us stuck and really unstuck it. And so we can move on to greater experiences of life, greater connections with ourselves, greater connections with other people, and obviously a greater connection with God.
And it takes that vulnerability that this person talked about that Steve had for you to get in a room with strangers, which makes everybody uncomfortable the first time. But only the first time. After that, it's like we're brothers and sisters in Christ forever.
Well, we really work hard on creating safety experts.
Yes.
And we create the safest environment for you to see and tell the most honest version of your life.
Well, it's the most comfortable, uncomfortable place you'll ever
That's a great
deal
way
with
to put it.
And so, and if you need some help financially, we can help you with that kind of help. We love you, we care about you, and it's a very, very special weekend. So there you come back and you tell us about how to support New Life in a little bit. But right now, how about we go, and,
can I just say one thing?
Here's the music.
I want to just encourage people that are dealing with grief, because grief is such a big deal. People don't know how to deal with it. We get calls on it all the time. We have this new grief workbook, but to process grief and to understand it, this workshop is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Only one of the things. There's so many things. So, sorry to interrupt. Thank you.
This is a good interruption. It's a great interruption. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You come help us, help you find that freedom that you're looking for. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We love you, and we want to help you, but you have to let us help you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll be back right after this.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met. connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Sheri Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Southern California February 28th to March the 1st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn, you're really glad you're with us here on a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And I hope and pray that God's going to do something great for you this weekend. Let's go to the phones. How about we talk with JC, Washington, D.C. on WAVA. JC, how are you?
I am doing well, Steve, and yourself?
Doing all right. How's it going? What's going on?
Good. Hey, just calling to get your thoughts on whether I should proceed with the DNA test. In conversations with my dad at Christmas, he thinks secrets should go to the grave. And just to give you a brief background, in family Bibles, there's a distant relative is listed as a father of a child on a birth certificate in 1863, but 40 years ago, we found that he had died in a hospital during the Civil War in Richmond, Virginia in 1861, which would have made him being the father implausible. And the hypothesis, the neighbor, when the neighbor gentleman passed, he left an inheritance to this child. And on my mother's side, she grew up in Nazi Germany where they did extensive ancestry, and the occupation is listed on birth certificates, and a distant relative was a handmaiden at a palace, but the father is conspicuously not listed on the birth certificate.
Okay, so why would you... Okay, so you're calling us because your dad doesn't want to delve into the ancestry, but you do?
Yeah, because I'm concerned. They're serving as elders at a church, and I'm concerned that they are creating, Rahab was, we understand she was a prostitute, but yet she's listed in the ancestry of Jesus. And so the Bible is, explicit.
JC, let me interrupt. Let me interrupt really quickly. Sorry about that. What are you really looking for?
Yeah. What's
well,
the purpose?
I'm looking for the truth to be established.
Okay, hold on. What truth to be established?
So, all we have is hypothesis that the neighbor was the father.
Okay, so
of the
hold on.
child,
If you find the truth, what do you think it'll do for you?
It will allow me to confront my parents that they have created an environment that I grew up in, which was not an environment where there was truth-telling, but it was a false
okay, so JC, you do not need a DNA test for that.
Okay.
You know what you're feeling. You're trying to leverage something here, but your experience is enough. And so it sounds like you have some challenging things, some resentment or hurts that you're carrying on inside of you about your parents and how you were raised. I would really encourage you to get into some counsel, kind of get a reflection on another person to help you understand what you're feeling, understand what you experienced, and then be able to have a truthful and graceful conversation with your parents about what you experienced.
See, here's what I think is a really sad thing, is that you don't trust your parents, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. So if one of my kids said to me, "Dad, I don't trust you," I would be so sad. I would get down on their level. I would say, "Tell me more. Where did that come from? Why do you?" I would be so concerned about it. You're not getting that response, are you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that's something that needs to be dealt with, no matter what ancestry or DNA or whatever. That's a bigger issue than who was the donor, and all of those kinds of issues. That's something that you really need to deal with. Sheri, you have a thought here about this?
Are you married?
Divorced.
Okay. You have a lot of hurt in your heart, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hurt there. What have you done to what have you done with your heart to help address some of those wounds in you?
I was in counseling for 19 years, but the counselor probably she's a New Life counselor, but not skilled in trauma. And I am looking for. I started seeing a Catholic psychiatrist, and he's given me some recommendations for someone that fits my theology.
So I think there are some deep wounds inside of there, and I would love to see you do exactly what you're talking about. Work with a trauma therapist, somebody who maybe does something called EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing, because I feel like there is this defensiveness, this wall, and I would even say a fear about going inside and going deeper into your wounds. You've been so hurt, and it's kind of leaking out in trying to prove your parents wrong, but it goes so much deeper than that. It's like,
okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like you've got an abscess in your heart, and you're trying to maybe have somebody that has a similar theology, and I just want you to get some good old-fashioned trauma work. Somebody that you'll let get really close to your heart, and to figure out what the abscess is about.
The thing that I sense from a DNA test is that you'd be able to prove that you're justified in all these weird, strange feelings of distrust and disconnection from your parents. You don't need a DNA test. It's there. We hear it. We feel it. And so I really do want you to get that help Sheri's talking about. And I think when you do ancestry, DNA, all of that kind of stuff is going to take a huge backseat to all of this other stuff that's so important. I'm glad that you called. I'm going to send you a couple of things. I'm going to send you the grief workbook with a life recovery Bible, and I'm going to send you the book, Healing is a Choice. And I think you're going to be glad you got it. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Anybody else that could use those resources? Let's go to Mary from Charleston, South Carolina, listens on the internet. Hi, Mary. How are you today?
Hello there. I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I'm calling about my 21-year-old grandson.
Okay.
His parents were divorced when he was 4, and he was in multiple homes, 1 week with his mother, 1 week with his dad. And when his dad, my son, had him that week, I helped a lot. I've helped him financially over the years from four to now. Actually, from the time he almost was born, he just seems lost. He dropped
What's
out
your
of school when
son's
he was about
involvement with him? What's your son's involvement with him?
Okay, here's what happened. When he was 14, they went to court, and he chose to go with his mother because, you know, he was 1 week with the mother, 1 week with the dad. And the dad was so hurt, my son was so hurt, that he's never really gotten over it. So there wasn't much involvement. However, having said that, my mother passed away about a month ago. She was almost 100. And at the funeral and afterwards, my grandson and my son did reconnect in a nice way. And my son, who lives in Florida, invited him down. Now, he has not gone. He is here with me. Well, he's across the street from me. Actually, his grandfather lives across the street. I'm divorced, have been for many years from him, and I live in an apartment right across. So he's over there, and he's back and forth. I have a dog. He had a dog. It got its leg broken in 2 spots when it was up at his girlfriend's house, and so I paid the vet bill. He comes over about 4 times a day, but the dog had his stitches out and has been whining and crying ever since because it seems like he has kind of a knot.
What's the question you have for us about the grandchild?
Okay, the grandson. Okay, how do I help my grandson? My son blames me for, doing so much for him over the years, and I'm sure I have, trying to help him, but I see now that it's not working. I got him a truck so he could go to work.
Okay, let's give you some insight here.
Yeah, let me jump in. So Mary, what your grandson does not need is stuff. He does not need things. He is not seen. And so, and I'm not talking about like physically. I'm talking about like his internal world. And this is one. I would have this. Your grandson, and again, I know we sound at times like a broken record, but in some therapy, in a safe place where he can start talking about what was it like to be 14 years old and have to choose between mom or dad. What was it like when dad rejected you because he felt rejected? What was it like to grow up in a divorced home and being shifted all over the place? So we're carrying this guilt about his experience, and we're trying to compensate the guilt by buying him stuff. That's not going to work.
Yes.
While his father, who ought to be there with you, inviting him to come down to be with him, his father ought to be growing up and getting involved in his life. While his father's blaming you for how he turned out, while his father has not been involved in his life. What a horrible, horrible situation for you, where you've done your best. Yeah, you probably overindulged, all that kind of stuff. You were doing your best. Your son was doing his worst, and now he judges you. Thank God you were able to step in. The boy's still alive. That's what I'd be saying to my son. He's still alive. He might not be if I hadn't done the best I knew to do. I didn't know to do any better. So, this son of yours,
But they've told me, just stop. Don't do anything for him.
Well, you know what you ought to be saying to your son? Get up here and come be the dad to your son. Quit, you big baby. You got rejected, okay? Isn't it time to be over that? And you meet at a funeral and you invite him to come down. Get up here and help him pack his bag and tell him you can't live without him and you're sorry. That's what I'd be doing.
Yes.
That's what I'd be saying to my son.
There's one more caveat to it. He has a girlfriend, and that he has. They seem so much alike. They both seem kind of lost, and She actually.
So
has
Mary,
come
Mary,
up
Mary,
here
Mary,
with
hold on,
him.
hold on. This isn't. I'm so sorry. This
Yes.
is just another rabbit trail. There's always going to be one more caveat in this kid's life. He's
Yes.
always going to do add-ons.
Yes.
He
Yes.
needs help, and he needs help now. He needs to get into
Yes.
really good counseling. And we've
I
talked about
agree,
this
but
on
I
this
don't-
show.
I don't-
He needs really good trauma
how do I-
therapy.
How do I get him to do it?
Well, you say I'm not buying you any more things anymore. What I will provide you is help that actually works, that gets you better.
Yes.
And
Okay.
here's the caveat. Your son needs to get involved
Yes.
with his son's life. Whether there's a girlfriend or whatever, his son needs to become the priority. Your son is a sun worshiper. He's worshiping himself. It's all about him, his feelings, what he wants. And he feels like such a big man to invite his son who hurt him because he didn't know how to handle a real live rejection.
My wife had found me out and came home one weekend. She had revealed my secret. The only reason I was sorry at that time is because I had been caught. I had had the Every Man's Battle book for years and pulled that book out that weekend and found the phone number on the back and called it, and then a week later I was at Every Man's Battle. It really gave me the start I needed for my recovery. I never had had that opportunity to sit down with guys I didn't even know and totally open up. The good thing was I was opening up to guys I didn't even know. So why did I care? Just lay it all out on the table. I have nothing to lose. You need to check it out. At least go online, check out what it's about, and take the chance and go do it.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to go on struggling, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the Transformation Welcome Gift, which includes a personal-sized Life Recovery Bible, a Life Recovery Journal, and 5 Life Recovery Workbooks. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops.
I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's been immensely helpful to me. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
All right. Well, I'm going to send Mary Take Your Life Back. And I hope that there's stuff in there that she's going to learn that's going to help her teach the son and the grandson how to be adults.
You know, I had a fantasy about this dad and this son both coming to the Finding Freedom Week. Like if she was to pay for that and to have them sit in the same room for 3 days together.
Well, there you go.
They just need time together, and the dad does need to be confronted on his reckless abandonment. You know, we get butthurt sometimes, and you know what? It's really immature. It's very immature, and it sets up this whole long trajectory of bad things for our kids just because we had a feeling, instead of being able to rise above that and to realize, like y'all said, I mean, here's a kid that has to decide where he's going to live. But what is that just gets so butthurt in us where we can lose our way? I mean, she's talking about the kids being lost, but man, this dad is lost. He's lost.
He's
Well, I
very
do
lost.
think it's kind of like what Paul was telling Timothy in the 3rd chapter of 2 Timothy, where people just are so into themselves and their feelings and their money, and it says that they will abandon friends, they'll abandon family too. It's all about self-worship and selfishness. That's, to me, that's what we've got here. And oh my goodness, rather than have such compassion for this boy and want to make life easier, I'm just going to reject him because he picked his mother. He picks the mother. Go after him in every way possible with letters and phone calls and all of those things.
And I got a crazy
my
idea. I know it's crazy. Why don't you take the time to figure out why he picked mom?
Well, there's an adult kind of thing to do
Oh.
right there. All right. Oh my goodness. Please forgive me for being frustrated today, everybody. I had a really good day yesterday. But today, Boston, Massachusetts, Joanne, WEZE. How you doing? Welcome to New Life. How can we help today? Hi.
Hi, Steve. Thank you all for taking my call.
Sure.
I am not doing great. I'm a real wreck. I've been married for over 30 years and been trying to figure out what's wrong, and nothing seems to work. For a while, I thought, well, he's a narcissist, and that's the problem. But there's been other personalities that have shown up. One was like a female personality that showed up, and I finally kind of kicked myself in the head because there's been no diagnosis. I'm like, well, who is this person, this seemingly female person talking to me here, just for like maybe half a minute, and then it's gone.
Okay, so tell me about what you think might have. Tell me about something you know about his past that might have led to these kinds of things showing up as an adult.
Well, I do know, because he doesn't want to talk about it, I do know his mother was very, very close to him, very smothering. And the father would hit him off the side of the head. And I know his sister had said that would happen to him because he wouldn't talk about it. He can't talk about anything negative.
Does he work?
He's a brilliant PhD. Yep. And works.
Okay.
That's the best thing I say about him. Every day he gets up and he goes to work. But he can't manage his money. So we're in constant debt.
Okay. So, Sheri, what are you thinking?
So when you said that he kind of has these different personalities, do you think he has dissociative identity disorder or something like that?
Well, that's what I'm thinking finally after all these years because
he kind of switches.
Total different personality, suddenly crying and accusing me indignantly of something that I had nothing to do with, and then it's gone in a half a minute or so.
Right.
And
so
I'm like, what just happened?
I get it. So guess what, my dear? I think this is above your pay grade.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't handle it.
I know, and there's a reason you can't handle it because if that is what he has, then he's got really complex trauma, which is really above your pay grade to diagnose. It's above your pay grade to treat. But you know what? It's not above your pay grade to ask him to go into couples counseling so that you can get a therapist connected with him so they can begin to talk about what is going on.
Right. We have had a lot of counseling, but that subject's never been brought up. And I think there was a past homosexuality that I didn't know about before we got married. It's not shown up in the marriage, but he's secretive, so I wonder.
So
the truth doesn't come out.
It doesn't come out in session because it's too scary to talk about it in front of him.
So.
Mm-hmm. So
I think so, and I'm afraid to mention it myself.
Well, guess what? As long as you're afraid to mention it, you can't get help. It's okay for you to have a side conversation with a therapist. I mean, Chris, you've probably had some spouses come in and there's a side conversation
Without a doubt.
before you actually see them together.
Yeah, because
you want that information.
Yeah, there's a serious mental illness or issue going on that we need to get to the bottom of.
So we want you to tell us.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
So what else do we want to say to Joanne to help her deal with this difficult situation?
Well, I would just encourage that getting into, as Sheri said, couples counseling and trying to get to someone who can assess his condition. And I know he may be resistant to it, but I would make that a demand in the marriage.
Right.
Because you're having she's having to deal with it over and over and over again. She needs some boundaries and she needs some help.
And, you know, she seems so alone.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, you go back. What's the first step? Well, you get connected with other women that can help you kind of help navigate. And whether he gets help or not, you're going to need navigation help from somebody that'll come alongside you with your best interest in mind. Let's go to Ann, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Ann, how are you?
Hi, how are you today? God bless you.
Excellent. Thank you.
I just happened to catch the very end of a young lady that must have been pregnant. I don't know what happened, maybe through rape or something. And that
it was domestic violence. Her husband was a very abusive man.
Oh. Okay, I caught the end of that, but I wanted to tell or share with her. I got raped in college at 19. And I had a baby, but I went to New York before I was going to get an abortion, but I couldn't stop crying. And I came home, and I thank God every day for this young. She's now 48.
Wow.
Her whole time. I loved her unconditionally. I never looked at her as a child of rape. But one thing someone said today was, you never get over what happened to you. I didn't get over that, but my baby, I never looked at her as a baby of rape. My kids didn't know any different from her and the other two that I had.
There you go.
There was just no difference. I love her. I just, And I felt really bad for that young lady. And I tell you, I could become an advocate for young ladies that were raped or violently, but I could never help myself. When I find out someone else was forced and things happen, I'd be right there taking them to the doctor, taking them to get help and everything. But in my age, I'm going to be 70. My age and stuff, I never dealt with it myself because it's still very hard to talk about, and but I never could step up and open my mouth and say, this is what happened to me, because I think back in those times, I think that we thought we were the reason this happened. I really blamed myself. I went away to college for the first time, never had a drink in my life, but the kids were like, okay, you got to do one or the other, take a smoke of reefer or a drink. And I thought, okay, I'll try the drink. And I drank, they had me drink a whole bottle of like some kind of liquor. And maybe it was a half of a pint, but for somebody who never had any alcohol. So I was completely out of it. And so I blamed myself because I said, I did something that I should have never done. But now I'm finding out this is what a lot of young kids are doing today. They're going and they're doing things, of course, first taste of freedom, and so I always blamed myself because I said I shouldn't have had that drink.
Let me ask you a question. If I could get a scholarship for you, rather than dwelling on that first taste of freedom that wasn't really freedom, what if we could help you find real freedom at finding freedom? If I could get a scholarship, you think you could work it out to go?
But I'm so scared to fly. I want to go. I really wanted to, because recently I had a husband who abandoned me. After 35 years, I lost my house. I had to bankrupt to be able to hold the house, to sell it. I had a divorce.
Well, maybe we can get you into one of those. Okay, so maybe we can get you into a class that people go to, that when they're finished, they're not afraid of flying anymore, or something. Or maybe we get you on a train or something.
In July, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. too, which is just right around the corner.
I could come to Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay,
July 24th.
All right.
But I thought they said it was next year, but you said it's going to be this July?
Yeah, it's July.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right, so, Ann,
and I'm gonna
hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Ann, you hold on. I am so grateful that you called, and I hope we'll get in touch. I hope that the lady that was thinking about aborting that baby, and I don't think she did, but
Tiana,
we'll
it would be so great to have both those ladies come. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Be awesome. So hang on here, and we'll get some information, and we're going to get you there. Let's go to Jason. He's calling from Pratt, Kansas. KREJ is the station. Jason, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Well, I guess I was just calling. I kind of, you had said earlier in the show that, finding freedom is, kind of for those people that haven't really done drugs or anything like that. They just feel stuck. And that's basically where I'm at. I'm just kind of stuck in life. I don't have a purpose, or so. I was just wondering a little bit more about the book, or
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me ask you this: where do you think things kind of got messed up in your life? Was it with Dad, Mom? What happened?
No. I had a really good childhood. I grew up. I went away to college, and I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but I went to a college that wasn't accredited, and so then when I went to try to get a career, I wanted to teach Bible in a Christian school, and when I tried to get a teaching job, all the teaching places or
Jason,
schools that I applied to.
Jason, let me jump in. What are you afraid of?
Honestly, success.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I'm going to succeed at something and then have more pressure.
Okay,
put on.
here's where the workshop is going to help you tremendously. You're afraid of success because you probably feel unworthy, or you feel like you're going to sabotage that success some way. God created you for success. He just tends to call it thriving. But something got stuck inside of you that you need to see and identify. That is it's like this wall that you keep running into, and it keeps holding you back. And what we're going to be able to do is find that doorway. We're going to actually identify what that wall is, and then we're going to discover the doorway for you to walk through to get on the other side of that wall, so that you can walk into the freedom of the success in which God has created you for. He knows the plans he has for you. He created you as his masterpiece and has prepared good works ahead of you. And there is just something inside of you, again, that's holding you back. And we got to go to work on that, man. So finding freedom is perfect for what you're dealing with.
It's a great place for so many things in your life to come together. And I love it when somebody is afraid of success, because you can work through all of the fears that lead to that, and there's a really good chance you come out on the other side being able to succeed, not self-sabotaging everything, and enjoying the success. Sheri, anything you want to add here before we go?
Yeah, Jason, what does your dad do?
He's a retired teacher.
So, did he struggle at all?
Not really.
Okay. Because sometimes when somebody is afraid to succeed, it's because they're afraid to compete. They're afraid to compete with their parents. They're afraid that they might show them up. They're afraid that maybe they would feel bad if they left home, or they kind of thrived and grew and got to be bigger than their britches, right?
Mm-hmm.
They kind of think that I'm going to leave somebody behind. And so over that weekend, we don't know what it is, but you're going to have a chance to spend 3 full days trying to find that it factor, that it factor that is holding you hostage and keeping you from being that all God intended you to be.
So hold on, Jason. Let's get you there. I think it's perfect for you. You know, so many folks have these mysteries. Why is this happening to me? Why isn't life simpler? To have an opportunity to finally solve some of those mysteries, what a great gift to give yourself. We'll help you do that at Finding Freedom, 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out about that. We'll be back with more phone calls and you, Sheri and Chris.
She said, we need to talk. She's asked me for the first time if I would consider myself a sex addict. You know, I thought it was just about admitting the things that I had done wrong. I never had a clue that it was about redeeming our story. You know, I thought it was just about coming clean on what I had done. I had no idea how to help her with her pain. She was a mess, I was a mess, and we got divorced. Going to EMB, surrounding myself with these other men, they accepted me for who I was and what I had done, but they challenged me to step up and do better. You know, they'll be around other men who are not just pointing the finger, but willing to get in and wade through it with them, you know, get in the trenches. They'll get hope from this workshop. Take my sweet wife and my story. We were divorced, remarried, and on our way to what I think will be the sweetest years of our lives. You know, it's no longer simply about surviving. For the first time ever, you know, we're thriving, we're enjoying where we're at.
Hey, listen, if you're struggling, we want to see you at the workshop. Give us a call, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, Steve Arterburn, and even though I called someone's son a big baby, we still want you to support our ministry full of love, grace, and mercy. And I just lost control, Larry, and so it might not have helped our efforts here. But anyway, talk to us a little bit about supporting New Life, even though the host called someone's son a big baby.
Okay, we'll forgive you. Well, I want to promote Club New Life. It is a giving program that we really depend upon as kind of something we can depend upon each month. And when we have the resources, we can do more for more people. That's the whole thing. We want to help more people. And we have a great thank you gift that we're just starting with now. And it's called the Transformational Gift. There's seven items. A Life Recovery Bible, 5 Life Recovery Workbooks, a general one, and then one on each: grief, eating disorders, divorce, sexual integrity, plus a Life Recovery Journal. And I can't tell you what this is going to mean to you. If it's not just a gift, it's something that's valuable that you're going to use and resource and share. So in the
and the Bible.
Yeah,
and the Bible.
And the Bible. I forgot. How could you forget about the Bible? My goodness, that's worse than calling
3
someone a
million
baby.
of these Bibles out there, and that is because it changes people's lives. The Life Recovery Bible is a transformational tool.
So when you give, all these phone callers that you hear, they're getting the help they need because you give. And the workshop testimonies you hear, they're getting the help because you give. So would you please give? And if you're a current Club New Life member, increase your giving $10 a month and we'll send you that package.
All right, 1-800-NEW-LIFE, $30 a month, and you can have this transformational kit for you and the people that you love. It really is a powerful, powerful tool. You call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Well, I've got time for one more call, and that's going to be Sharon, Boston, Massachusetts, WEZE. Don't have a lot of time, but I did want to get your call in. How could we help today? Sharon, you're on. Sharon.
Maybe switch over to Sharon from Atlanta, Georgia.
I have another Sharon
Yeah.
that we can go to. Let's go to Sharon from Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Sharon. How are you?
Oh, hi. I'm doing okay. I'm glad that the other Sharon let me have the call.
Yes, God's will right there. How could we help?
As I was saying to the screener, have found myself in such an awkward, desperate place. My son is terribly depressed, and he is refusing visits from us, my husband and I. And he has indicated that he doesn't think that it's worth going on.
Okay.
I'm a professional therapist, PhD, LPC. And I'm in a different state from him, and this is what I do for a living. So it's hard for me to help all these folks, and I can't help my own son,
Yeah.
So how could we help you? What do you want to know?
I just plugged into the program on my way. I just left a session, and I said I have to go home. I can't do any more today. And I just heard someone calling in. I don't know what kind of a program it is, except Christian, because my Christian radio station. I don't know if you could recommend something for me, some way to reach him. Should I have an intervention? Should I show up? Should I risk
Well,
him cutting me off? You know.
Yeah, I think the main thing I would say, and I'll let them respond, I hate for you to do nothing when he's saying he doesn't want to go
I
on.
know.
What do you guys think she should
I
do?
say yes, yes, and
Yeah.
yes. I mean, Chris, and I'm not wanting to tell your story, but you've had 2 suicides
Yeah.
in the last week in
Yeah.
your realm. And you know what? At moments like this, when somebody says, I don't want to go on, you know as well as we do, that's some suicidal ideation right there. And so your son probably needs to be in a treatment center. He probably needs to be medicated, and it might be that you and your husband get on a plane, show up, find out where you could take him in that area, and get him in someplace. The last thing somebody wants to do is really take their life, but they basically, before they do that, they create boundaries all around them. And that puts people in situations where they feel very helpless and powerless. But you are not helpless. Even if he gets mad at you, you guys are...
Yeah, he's going to be mad.
I understand.
He's gonna be mad.
I know.
He's a newlywed.
Okay.
His wife cheated on him. And his wife cheated
He's
on
a
him.
newlywed.
Do you have a relationship?
Oh my goodness.
Do you have a relationship with his wife?
I have a very good relationship with his wife.
Okay, so she
He's
needs
also a
she.
therapist.
Okay, absolutely. So Sharon, you, your husband, and his wife need to get on the same team immediately. It's not that you all agree or that you all are, but then you create a force of love, united front to get him the help that he needs. What state is he in?
He's in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, real quick here. Have you asked his wife to get some help for whatever led her to have the affair?
Yes, I got her into counseling. She's going. They had started to do some couples. He's pulling back from that. I guess it's getting difficult now.
Okay, but here's the thing. She needs to do something that shows him he is valuable. If they're just doing couples therapy, she needs to be going to like a sex and love addicts anonymous meeting where she's saying, yeah, I might be a therapist, but this is what I really need because I want to be the wife I said I was going to be to you. That could have a tremendous impact on him. But if she's still acting like I'm the healthy one and he's resisting couples therapy, all this kind of stuff, she needs to humble down and let him know I'm not going to play the therapist that was forced into an affair or some kind of victimhood thing that she's doing. She needs to get help, and that will say so much to him about his value. What do you think, Sheri?
I would love to send him my book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal, because can you see how crazy this world is? My mom's a therapist, and my wife's a therapist, and she betrays me. Yeah, it's a crazy world for him. So he needs to get the help for the betrayal trauma.
Yeah, I might be resisting therapy a little bit if my mom's a therapist and my wife's a therapist. And so,
oh my gosh. I can't ask him anything. Every question I ask, he thinks therapy.
I would ask her to do the most uncomfortable, humble, effective thing, and that is to humiliate herself into getting into a Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous meeting. Whether she thinks she needs it or not, it will say to him, I need help. I made the mistake. Because no matter what he did after they got married, it does not justify an affair in any way possible. And if you have a great relationship with her, that's probably painful to him. We'll send you Intimate Deception coming your way. For him, I'm going to send him, well, let me send him Healing is a Choice. I think it could help him. Boy, if we could get him to Finding Freedom, Hey, call us. You come. 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for watching New Life Live on our New Life YouTube channel. You know, you can see it anytime. Hope you'll subscribe, and when you do, hope you'll turn that little button thing on, the bell, so that whenever we post a new video, it'll ring right through. Now, if you go to newlife.com, you'll see the schedule of when we're in the studio, which is helpful to know if you have a question for the program, or you could go to newlife.com or call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You could do this on the app. I mean, there's so many ways that you can stay in touch with us and know when we're there, because we want to answer your questions. So thanks for watching right here on the New Life YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time. Click here to subscribe.